I'm a long way removed from Case, but I get flashbacks every time I come back around here. But it's been a nice journey to where I am now as a judge, and I owe a lot of that to Case. Case had a lot of influence on me and my path. But I really, law school, that time of my life, I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot, and I think it helped in large part mold me into the person I am today. I was really honored when I was notified that I was being considered for the Society of Benchers. So, but my message is always really a message of hope. Some would say I was not supposed to be here. When I was born, I was 2 months premature. I was giving my mother all kinds of problems. I was shoulder breech, placenta previa, and transverse lie, which basically means that I was turned around the opposite way with the umbilical cord wrapped around me, such that I caused her placenta to detach prematurely. So she had extensive internal bleeding. So the doctors had to make a choice. And the choice, of course, was to save my mother's life. So they did a cesarean section, and everybody in the room understood that I was gonna die. State of medical science, 1962, 2 months premature, he's gonna die. But God had other plans. The doctor's name was S.Q. Crawford. And because he was credited with saving my life, they named me Charles S.Q. Fleming, thus the middle name. It's not hard to figure out that at some point I became interested in the law. So I decided I wanted to go to law school and was truly elated when Case, my mother went to Case. All my life I had heard that Case is this good school. So I was elated when I was accepted to law school at Case, and quickly joined the class of 1990. After law school, I was the poster person for keeping an open mind about what you want to do with your life. As fate would have it, former Professor Gianelli, I believe he's Professor Emeritus now, Paul Gianelli, called me just when I was starting to think about, okay, what else do I want to do? Because I don't want to sit in this back room researching and writing all the time. And he called me. It was kind of like God was looking out. So he called me, he said, hey, I don't know if you're interested. The Federal Defender's Office is hiring. I know you're working with a private firm or a civil firm. Don't know if you're interested in this. Don't know if you're interested in another job. But that moment in my history probably marked the moment that my trajectory kind of shot me to this position, to this job. I was with the Federal Defender's Office for about 30 years. And at the beginning of 2021, that marked my 30th year, I told my boss I was going to retire. Now, mind you, I had applied for United States Magistrate Judge several times, and I was a finalist out of hundreds of attorneys. I was a finalist several times, but I never got the job. So no sooner did I tell my boss that I'm going to retire at the end of 2021 than these 3 judgeships opened up. Now I was in a quandary. It's almost like being back in that situation when I was at the civil firm and being called about a criminal law job. You don't know if you're going to hit a home run unless you swing the bat. But what you do know is that if you don't swing, you won't get anything. So now that was working on me now because these judgeships have opened up. And it's like, hey, wait a minute. This is my conscience talking. It's like, hey, wait a minute. Aren't you the one that's always telling these kids you don't know if you're going to hit a home run unless you swing the bat? Now you're going to drop the bat and go off into retirement? And aren't you the one that's aspired to be a judge your entire career? You've been a finalist for magistrate judge several times, and now these positions open up and you're just gonna say no and walk off into retirement. And with my conscience bearing down on me like that, I knew I had to apply. Next thing I knew, I was watching my retirement go right out the window. And so I was fortunate enough to be recommended for nomination by Senators Brown and Portman, fortunate enough to be nominated by the president, and fortunate enough to be confirmed by the Senate. So here I am. My engagement with Case has pretty much been continuous. I've spoken at Case on a number of occasions, including since I've been judge, I've spoken here at least 3 or 4 times. I think I'm the only person on the federal bench here in the Northern District of Ohio that has a public defender and federal criminal defense background. So that being the case, I I think when you bring my perspective as well as everybody else's perspective to the table, it enriches the conversation. And usually, hopefully, when you have an enriched conversation, you're closer to getting to the right answers. It is very important that we put people in the profession that are going to honor the profession and honor its precepts and not cut corners and do the work. There's no substitute for hard work. I think it's important for us. I don't think we should just go off about our careers and say, well, I got mine, so I'll just keep going. No, I think it's important to come back to remind students that, hey, if I can do this, you can do it too. You could be a judge just like me one day. I think the fact that Case is, I think, at the cutting edge of really, especially in and about the Cleveland area, but beyond, in terms of putting out good quality lawyer candidate, give back. Because to me, that's what I chalk it up to. I look forward to opportunities to come back and speak to students, because I was a student once, and I appreciated all of the mentorship and all of the guidance and stewardship that I could get. And I sure would have benefited and did benefit from people coming back and talking to me and giving me the benefit of their knowledge. So far be it from me not to do the same.